AI is a very hype subject right now, but it will change every industry like IT have changed pretty much every industry, right? AI is not like a breakthrough. The breakthrough around AI is the volume of data we can accumulate, we can collect nowadays. Plus, the second breakthrough is like relatively easy access to computer power. So data plus computer power makes like AI more and more relevant for any business.
You got to ask yourselves, who is AI for, right? What problem are you trying to solve? Are you doing it just because it's a buzzword and everyone's getting into it? Or are you really trying to solve a core problem that's going to make your job more efficient?
If the customer needs it, we will develop that. In the meeting industry, is back to what the customer needs. What the customer needs is effective, cost efficiency, and also convenience and security. I think AI will be a tool that we can use.
With a lot of like startups, you might not even know that you're collecting all this information, and I think AI is something that they just have to tap into, because whatever business they're doing, they're collecting data. It's always good to have your own pool of data and your own demographics and customers. So once you have all this data ready, it's just ways of harnessing it.
AI is all about like feeding your algorithm to train your algorithm with data. Because if you wake up 10 years from now and you're like, I should have collected this kind of data, it would have been nice, I should have structured my information system in a different way, it's either too late or it will take you a big amount of effort to make it neat, even if you're not coming from a technological background. That's something you need to think from day one.
Certainly necessary, because we are talking about consumer business, consumer experience. Consumer now, you need it fast, you need it accurate, you need it right at the time. I would say the chance for error is much lesser than a process can do by 10 humans. And certainly AI can help to really speed up the process.
One of the limitations is AI is only as good as the data you put into it. And so for us, the data is the candidate's CV, the job experience, and that's great, but that may or may not be 100% accurate. The other limitation is our customers expect AI to be a one-stop solution, but unfortunately the case is AI is at the very early stages now. So we can't expect AI to do everything. AI helps, but it will never replace human-to-human interaction.
The limitation sometimes is now it's actually very difficult to get a reliable vendor or developer for the AI technology, and also some maybe inside the bank they also very difficult to get the in-house talents.
The recruiters cost money, right? So they try to replace the middleman with like fancy algorithms or data science, AI. But then, AI can be sometimes dangerous because it kind of create like linear career, and we all know that we don't have linear career, so you need to keep the human at the core of your system and try to enhance everything else around human.
Because a lot of these startups, especially, they're lean startups, So having open sources out there for developers, like, chatbots have like open source APIs for them to integrate into the website. So I would say the resources are out there. It's just finding a perfect fit, basically.
AI is becoming more accessible with things like Google TensorFlow and with AWS cloud services. We hired a few data scientists. They looked into the problem we're trying to solve to make our jobs much more efficient. And what we found is actually, hey, we can use ready-made solutions to actually leverage and take advantage of AI.
There are some Python libraries, for example. There's a very famous one called NLTK, for example, for Natural Language Toolkit. So that's something you can do quite easily today.
I think Hollywood probably does a really bad job of like kind of stereotyping AI. Every single movie that you've seen with like AI is always about like taking over the world. All this data you've collected are very important information. So AI just really helps filter and make sense of all that data. I think AI it's here to stay as long as we know how to complement with our startups and with the resources here.
I know it's very confusing for the public, like for people who are non-technical, that it looks very scary. You can read a lot of articles online. First of all, AI is not that smart. We're not there. There's a lot of room for improvement for AI. It's going to be changing every industry, like the IT have been changing all industry in the past 30 years, and it's just a prolongation of technology, so nothing to be really scared of.
We should really embrace the change. Just like before internet come, or even before mobile come, you see how much change the world face. And AI is just the big wave of technology change. And it just makes the world better, hopefully, and faster.